Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video I am going to be talking about a new product we have over our website blacksmithingblanks.com. You can find a link to that down in the description down below. I encourage you guys to go check that out, where we sell all sorts of blacksmithing blanks and now tooling as well. So what we have made here, and this is the new tool that we're adding to the website, is this arch frame guillotine tool. Now we already have a C-frame guillotine tool for $75. It's a kit, so you have to weld it together yourself, just like this guillotine tool. Again, this is an enclosed guillotine tool kit, and this one is for $50 right now at the current recording of this video. So be sure to check it out. Again, who knows where the crazy world will go in 10 years from now. So be sure to check the website for current prices. Some things to note before you get going: the way that you'll be receiving this guillotine tool here specifically is it comes wrapped up in a flat pack bundle. In that bundle, you will be getting one die that is 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches wide by 7 inches long. You will also be getting a front piece and a back piece, as well as 2 side pieces that are 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch by 6 inches long a piece. You'll be getting a base that goes with this that you can obviously weld your hardy shank to, and you will be receiving a 1-inch hardy shank. Now that can be ground down to fit the size of your anvil. If you have a much smaller anvil, say something like a Vevor anvil or an Achaio anvil, something like one of the cheap Amazon anvil options, you can grind this down to size to fit those. Or if you've got something a little bit bigger than a 1-inch hardy shank, you can always run a little bit of bead, a little bit of welding bead on this and grind it to fit. To answer this question, this is a big question that came up with my other dies, my other guillotine toolkit. All of our dies as of right now are mild steel. They are mild steel dies. They are not tool steel dies. And the simple reason for that is the cost of materials. That it's quite absorbent right now for high carbon steel dies. Eventually, be sure to keep checking the website. We do plan on offering some 4140 options and maybe even some 1045, some other different high carbon steel dies for these kits. But as of right now, they're mild steel. And I've got a set of mild steel, if you worry about how those hold up, I've got a set of mild steel dies in an old guillotine of mine that I've had for 7 years, and they're still going strong without very little touch-up that I've had to take and do to them. Bring hot material to cold dies, and that's the secret to that. So as far as the build process is concerned, the very first thing that I like to do is I actually like to drill a hole dead center of my base plate. I like to create a nice round hole, about 5/8 inch in diameter. You could do as small as, say, a 1/2 inch if you want, or no hole at all, that's fine. But I like to do that because I like to plug weld, as you'll see later on in the video here. I like to actually plug weld that hardy stem onto the actual guillotine tool itself, versus having a fillet weld around the bottom that I then have to grind square in order to fit my actual hardy hole. So that's the very first step. I like to do that. The second step of the process, I like to wrap the dies. I like to wrap the dies in paper. That gives a clearance fit. Now, if you want more clearance fit, you can make more wraps of the paper. If you want it to be a snugger, tighter fitting die, you don't want to just but do one wrap of paper around and don't let it overlap anywhere. After wrapping the paper around, I like to put a bit of tape on it to just secure that paper in place. And then I clamp all the other necessary side pieces and the front and back piece together around that, making sure everything fits really nice and snug and tight before I start to weld that. The next step in the process, if you did choose to actually plug weld the hardy hole, the hardy stem onto the actual base of the guillotine, you will need to do that next. So you'll need to go ahead and fill that, tack it up in spot, on the bottom and then go ahead and fill in the plug weld, and later on you grind off those quick little tacks that you put on the one side. And you have to do that because, assuming that you center the tool over the hardy stem, it's going to block and get in the way for a later date trying to weld that up. So that's why you want to start with that first. Next, after everything's good and clamped up, you set that on top. As you can probably see in the videos, I have used some little welders magnets to just hold everything upright. If you got a hole in a fab table, that'll work, or you prop it up on blocks, or however you'd like to go about doing it there is fine. But I go ahead and then set on the piece and I tack weld it to the base, and then I try to weld it out the best I can and make sure I make some tack welds up on the sides as well, just to run my little stringers to hold the whole piece together before I take the clamps off. So I'll weld a little, I'll take a clamp off when it's no longer necessary, weld another side a little, take that clamp off, and then continue on with my work until I have a fully finished, a fully finished guillotine tool. So for the dies themselves, I like to cut the dies at 2/3 the length, which for me, it's about 2/3. So I like 2/3 on top and 1/3 on bottom. On a 7-inch die, that works out to about 2.5 inches. So I cut the die at 2.5 inches, and then I do all grinding and shaping of the actual business end of the tool after that. So for this particular tool, I decided to make it a guillotine tool, and a proper guillotine tool to sever pieces of bar stock off, and it really does work quite marvelously, if I don't say so myself. You can never really have too many guillotine tools in the shop. The nice thing about guillotine tools, you can make up as many different die styles and use them all with the same tool. Or if you have a bunch of guillotine tools, you can set them all up differently for different operations and just kind of go from one die to the next, to the next, to the next in a production, type situation. In the shop, I have a much larger guillotine. I have a guillotine tool for the fly press. I have a C-frame guillotine tool of ours that we manufacture here in-house. So that's got a different radius die on it, and that's really going to help up my own production when we're doing production work here in the shop, to be able to just set the dies up and go from one guillotine to the next without having to do a bunch of changing of dies and whatnot. So there you go. That's just a quick rundown of how you would take and put one of our guillotine tools together. Again, this whole kit is only $50 over our website, blacksmithingblinks.com. I highly encourage you to go check that out. We also have the C-frame option. I will reach over here and grab this real quick. We also have the C-frame option as well that you can find over our website, blacksmithingblinks.com. Again, we've got both of these tools over there, as well as a 120-degree tool that'll be showing in future videos that is really great for setting up trivet legs and things like that. So be sure to go check those out. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button if that's something you're into. And if you don't know already, if you are a channel member and you click that join button down below, you get extra discounts on tooling as well over there. So that's it. God bless you, and we will catch you all on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.